Can you just wait until you know what you're doing with your farm succession plan to put something in place? That's a terrible idea. Hi, I'm Jason Wagner, the farm lawyer. I work with family farmers every single day to help them pass the farm on to the next generation. We're asking, should we wait until we know everything that we're doing with our farm succession plan, until we put something in writing, until we put something in place? That's a big mistake, and I'm sure you've seen it. I see it. What happens when somebody dies or becomes incapacitated and they have nothing? Plans go up in smoke. What we thought was going to be a farm succession plan is a farm ending. Okay? So here's an example, right? We've got a married couple. We've got a will from 1980 that says give everything to our 5 kids in equal shares. That will probably designates guardians because all the kids weren't even adults yet. And now we're 40 years later and those kids are grown. We've got one of them, 2 of them maybe farming next to you. But the will still says just give everything to everyone equally. And you're thinking, well, I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe we're not, we don't know if they're committed. Maybe we don't know if we want what we want to leave them. We don't, whatever. I hear it all the time, and it's a big, big mistake because what you're doing is you're waiting for things to be perfect before you put it down. You think that this is something that once it's written in stone, that's the way it's going to be forever. That's not the way it is. It's a revocable trust or a will. Wills can be amended, rewritten. Trusts can be revoked and restated. These are documents that are intended to be flexible so that you can change them and update them over time. But if you sit and wait, we're still stuck with that plan from 40 years ago that says just give everything to our kids in equal shares. Think about it. You probably have seen this in your neighborhood. A farmer that all of a sudden became incapacitated. They were put in a coma because of COVID, all right? No power of attorney. Who has the authority to sell grain? Nobody, because that grain is just in that farmer's name. Even the wife doesn't have the authority because it's not in her name. So what do we need to do? Well, you probably have to get a guardianship conservatorship established. That's going to take time, and it's going to go through a court process. It's going to be public record, and it's going to be expensive, when you could have just taken care of that with a power of attorney on the front end. Another situation, we've seen grandpa's got his grandson farming alongside him. They're getting started. We've got the son there. We've got grandson there. We've got 3 generations working together. Well, it turns out Grandpa never updated his estate plan. Grandpa dies unexpectedly on the farm. Well, you know what? That's not good. But next thing we know, Dad dies unexpectedly, gets sick, doesn't have a very long illness. So we have this grandson that's basically pinned his life dreams on this. He hasn't built up a career. He doesn't have a resume that he can replace this income or fall back on anything. Do we think that we're going to have Grandpa's kids and all the other kids all just get along to figure it out and say, well, here you go, grandson. We know this is what you wanted. This is what Grandpa wanted. That's dreamland. That's fantasy land. That's not what happens. And so this all could have been resolved by just putting something in place other than just give it to everyone in equal shares. I know that maybe Grandpa wasn't quite sure what his grandson's going to do or what his son, how long they're going to stick around. But these are situations that farm is no longer a family farm. It can't be, because we're dividing it among so many people. And we have to have so many people get along to try to keep it a family farm. If your objective is to keep the farm in the family, you've got to have a plan. We can't be sitting around waiting for it. Even other advisors sometimes that I work with, we're so focused on narrowing in on this big plan, how we're going to transition the farm during life. Well, guess what? That takes time. That takes sometimes years to develop that plan and then years longer to pull it off. And if in the meantime we're forgetting that we don't have our foundational estate plan in place, what does it matter? We're stuck in the middle of this planning session that's taking 2 years to put together, yet our basic fallback plan is a fail. Get the basics done, get your foundation in place, amend it, restate it as you go. That's what we're here for. What you can't do is just say, I'm just going to figure out everything, right, do this one time, I'm going to sign things one time, get it all done then. That's not real life. That's not the way planning works. That's not good business. And if you want to keep your farm in the family, we have to make sure we have the foundational estate plan in place. Power of attorney, healthcare directive, trust. What's going to happen with your assets if something happens to you, if you die or become incapacitated. So if you'd like to get started, check out farmlawyer.com, follow me on Facebook, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.